Do you think you will ever move home for good? See you! Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If it's your first time stopping here, hi, I'm Gisele. Welcome to my channel. I have a guest here finally. No, not finally. Yeah, I've had a guest before, but this is the second guest on my channel. It's my younger brother, Dave. Okay, we decided that we're going to do a video today, and the video is basically called the Expat Tag. There are a bunch of questions online where you can take the questions and then you give your opinion. So I found it quite interesting because people come from different parts of the world and they have completely different experiences and answers to all of these questions. Yeah, we thought we would also do this tag, and yeah, we'll just jump right into the question. So I have my laptop down here in case you're wondering why we're looking down. Where were you born / where did you grow up?
I think yeah, I was born in Bamenda, Cameroon, the capital city of the northwest region. Yeah, I grew up for the greater part of my life in Bamenda as well.
Yeah, me too. I was born in Cameroon, and to be specific in Bamenda, and I grew up for majority of my life in Bamenda in Cameroon. What country or countries have you moved to?
Germany, and I haven't entirely moved, you know.
Yeah, the only country I have moved to is Germany as well. From Cameroon, I moved to Germany. What made you leave your country?
The main reason was to do my master's, you know, to further my studies, but the fact that there is an ongoing crisis right now kind of precipitated that. So I was ready to move either way, but the fact that things got so bad in the country just made it all the more important for me too. So, yeah.
For me, I left way before the war or the crisis in Bamenda started. So the reason why I left was for my studies. That was just the only reason. When you leave for your studies, you hope that you also encounter other experiences along the way, but the main reason was for my studies. What was the easiest part in adjusting to your new country?
I guess I had it easier than other people because I studied German for a time in Cameroon before traveling, so it wasn't particularly difficult for me to adjust, I guess. And I was initially studying in English, so it made it relatively easier to make friends, go around the city. Mm-hmm. And of course I had family here already, so on top of all that, I just got lucky, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, everything you said is true. I also studied German before I came to Germany. I studied in English, and then I also have family here, so all of that made it really easy. But another thing that also made adjusting to the country easy was going out of my way to have German friends. So in university, like in class, I tried to make sure that I had German friends just to be able to help me improve my language skills, and then also just to have like locals of the country as friends. I mean, they can always tell you where the best, I don't know, concert is, or he said curry boost, or the best, I don't know, like they are more knowledgeable about their country, right? So yeah, I think going out of my way to have friends that were locals also made adjusting to Germany easy. What was the hardest part in adjusting to your new country?
First thing that comes to my mind is the weather.
I was like, that's the only thing for me. That's the only thing.
Yeah, it has to be. It's too cold.
Yeah.
Way too cold, man.
Yeah.
And I'm still not adjusted to that, to be honest.
Nope.
Yeah.
For me, that's the only thing as well. Like, I could easily adjust to anything else. Say, for example, racism or discrimination. Those are things that you kind of build some kind of tolerance to, but the weather is constant, very constant. That's something that I still struggle with a lot. As I'm talking to you right now, my nose is running, literally in the house. So yeah, the weather. Describe the moment where you finally felt like you belonged. Oh yeah, take over.
Yeah, this was a weird one because I remember when I came, you picked me up.
Yeah.
And then I eventually moved to Berlin. You called like after a week or so and asked me like, so has it hit you yet? I was like, nah, not yet. It still feels surreal. And one day on the train, I do not remember exactly where I was going to, but I just, you just look out the window and you're like, okay, it's actually my new reality. I'm actually here. So it wasn't any particular incidents or occurrences, just out of the blue, the most random time, it just hit me.
The moment, I honestly cannot say that I feel like I belong. Like, I don't feel like I belong. There's just a constant reminder, literally, there's a constant reminder that this is not your country.
Yeah.
Or this is not, there's just a constant reminder. The weather, the number of people that if you look on the street, the number of people you can relate to. Like, there are so very few people that I can really relate to when I look around me. Or if you go to a restaurant, for example, the food there you cannot relate to it. So I do not feel like I belong, which is fine. Like, this is a whole completely different country, different culture, different set of rules. So for me it's fine that I don't belong. But I think you should try to integrate. If you try to integrate, as long as you try to integrate, it doesn't really matter if you feel like you belong or if you don't belong. Describe one major difference between your home country and your adoptive country.
Just one. I mean, the elephant in the room is the weather.
We keep talking about the weather. This weather.
The people, I guess, in general, the culture, man, there's way too many.
So many.
There's way too many.
So
it's just
many.
Two very different realities.
Exactly. It's the food, the weather, the culture. One major difference, for example, is this community living. I know that I have neighbors, but I've probably run into them once or twice in 2 years. Can you imagine that I have seen my neighbors once or twice in 2 years? It's
impossible in Cameroon.
Impossible. You have your neighbors check up on you, they cook food for you and come and give you. They are literally like your brother or sister from another village or from another home. What do you miss most about your home country?
Home.
Don't say the weather. Weather is okay. Not say weather.
Yeah, home. Everything. Everything.
Like what?
I just miss home. The smell.
The smell of dust.
Yes. and when it rains, that chalky calabash smell.
Yes.
The noise.
The sound of rain on the zinc. The sound of cars honking in the middle of the street, like the chaos, the food, the variety of food. Oh my God, that's something that I don't know if any other place that I'll ever go to can top the variety of food. How often do you visit home?
Well, I've not been back home.
Yes.
I've not been back home since I came here.
But you've only been here for a year.
Yeah.
Not only, but you've been here for a year.
I've only been here for a year. Yeah. Let's try again next year.
Not so, yeah. For me, I've been here for 7 years and I've only been back home once. And since the last time I went back home, I have not been able to go back, mainly because of the crisis that is going on in Bamenda. There is a civil war going on in Bamenda, or there was a civil war. I can say is because it stops and then it starts again and then it stops, and there is no point where there's just complete rest. Like, there's always tension. So that is one reason why our parents are like, we don't think it's a good idea for you guys to come anytime soon until things really get better. So unfortunately we do not go back home that often, but hopefully in the near future things change politically. And what's the best thing about living abroad?
Personally, I think it kind of forces you to grow, to develop, puts you in situations where you have to just think for yourself, fend for yourself, gives you room to travel more, experience a lot more. It's rather unfair that it's way easier to travel within countries here in the EU than it is to travel within other African countries, But I think that's what I appreciate the most, that room to grow, develop as a person.
For me, I would say, because I really like traveling, I would say the point he made about the ease of traveling within the EU. Traveling from Cameroon to Nigeria, I mean, you don't necessarily need a visa, but first, it's very expensive. It will cost you, say, 300 euros to travel from Germany to the Netherlands. That is how expensive it is to travel from one country to the other in Africa. That already restricts traveling a lot. It is that expensive. So it's not like just getting into the train and paying.
That's just the guess.
That's just the guess, It's not like just paying a train, getting into the train, paying 25 euros, 30 euros, and you're in the Netherlands. No, it's really expensive. And that's one way, 300 euros, another way, 300 euros. Imagine if it's that expensive, how willing are people to travel? Like, that is a huge restriction, and that is something that I really appreciate about living in Germany or in Europe in general. So yeah. What's the worst thing about living abroad? Don't say weather. It's okay.
Because I can't say my stay here has been entirely bad.
Yeah.
But, you know, just the situations where you're exposed to, I don't know, blatant racism or discrimination, things you just look, they just puzzle you, you know, like, why? It's 2020. Why would you still think that way?
Yeah.
And of course, yeah, those are things they cannot define your entire experience, but that's probably the thing that stands out as the most negative for me now.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
It's the exact same thing for me. That's the worst thing about living abroad. Yeah, just the fact that they can literally segregate you and treat you differently from everybody else around because you're a foreigner or you look the way you look or whatever it might be. It doesn't happen that often, but when it does, like you said, it stands out. It's constantly in your mind, and you just constantly think about it. What food items do you miss the most?
Easy.
Name one. Soya. Oh, that's not something I'll think of. Mine would be roasted fish. Roasted fish from Tarinkon.
Soya from Council Junction.
If for those who don't know what soya is, I'll put them right here on the screen. His is soya, I'll put it in front of him, and mine is roasted fish, I'll put it in front of me.
It has to be soya.
That wait, no, mine is not roasted fish. Wait, what is it? Okay, let's stick with roasted fish because there are a lot of things that I can cook here by myself that would taste relatively the same like in Cameroon. So I'll say roasted fish. Yeah, that's the closest. Soya. Are there any other countries that you would like to live in?
For some reason, I've always loved Canada. Never been, but it's just always appealed to me.
Yeah.
For years.
What about Canada?
If you ask me, I'll not be able to tell you exactly what it is because it's definitely not the weather.
Weather.
But yeah, you know, it's just one of those countries you don't hear too much about. They're just peaceful.
That is true.
Steady economy.
They're in the United States, but it doesn't feel like they're in the United States.
Yeah, you know, they're not pompous. They don't think they're the only nation that
exists. The biggest, best country
I just like
in the world.
the vibe, or at least the vibe I get from friends I know there, from what I see on the news. It just appeals to me.
Actually, the next country I want to live will be literally the opposite side of the world. You're Canada and I'm Australia. I swear. I would love to live in Australia. I just really want to learn about the country, especially knowing that there are so many natives of the country that are hidden in the background when you think of Australia. Like when you think of Australia, you think of white, blonde people, but they are literally natives of Australia that are black people that look like us. So that's just one thing. And then also knowing that the country is so vast, like when you travel throughout the country, there are so many different, the topography and the geography is so different everywhere. So that's something I find really interesting as well. I would love to move to Australia. Move and live in Australia, even if it's just for a year. Do you think you will ever move home for good?
Yes.
Yeah, me too, for sure. Obviously, you have to be realistic about the fact that given the crisis that is going on now, you cannot just up and move there and think that because you move to Cameroon, things are going to be different. No, you have to be strategic about it. But the goal and the plan is to move back to Cameroon for good. No, for me, it's not for good because I want to live in about 5 or 6 different countries.
Yeah, but
for a while.
I want to set up base.
Yeah.
And I know wherever I go, I have a home.
Exactly.
You could always go back there and it's going to be yours.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I mean by going back home.
Yes, what he said. Yes. One tip / advice to anyone wanting to move to a new country.
I don't know, be open-minded. Integrate yourself in the society as much as you can. There's no way around it. You're an outsider already. There's no point living like one.
Yeah.
You're making yourself even more of an outsider in the country that doesn't feel like home. So just try to integrate as much as possible, be spontaneous, actually live life, make full advantage of whatever the country has to offer, and just try to understand the country, because there's probably a lot of things that are available to me right now which I did not know of before, but had I known, would have made my stay so far easier. So just try to learn about the country as much as you can, and it should be easier.
Yeah. One of the main points I'll go with is being open-minded. Being open-minded is going to take you a really, really long way, because being open-minded means you're open to criticism, you're open to challenges, you're open to change, you're open to just be open-minded. Honestly, that's the only thing. Open-minded as well to having friends who are local, because that also really, really helps in learning the language, if you're interested in learning the language, because not everybody is. And also in getting some kind of information that would have made your life easier, which you did not know at the beginning. So open-mindedness, that's the umbrella term that I'll use for everything else.
Alright.
That was it for this video, for the expat tag. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed watching the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed watching the video. I have a playlist somewhere of other videos related to living in Germany. Also, if you live in a foreign country, what has your experience been like? What do you like? What do you hate? Let us know in the comment section down below. We'll really, really appreciate reading from you guys about your experiences. So thank you for watching, and see you in the next video. Ciao. See you. That's a video.